I've been doing a project about animals. I've been really interested in animal perception, what they see, what they don't, what I can see, or I as in a person can see, and what we can't.
What's the matter? But there's nothing there.
I'm really interested in eyes. They're like horses and deer and prey animals. They all have rectangular pupils like a goat. There's the Alex G song called Gnaw, and there's a line that says, I know when he looks in my eye, he sees me too. And I thought about Master to that. I'm so close with Master. I'm so close with Master. He's probably what I consider to be my best friend. I can just be a real authentic self with him, and he's such a good listener. You know, I spend hours with him, hours, probably more than a lot of people. We go out and we explore, and it's just us. And we chat. I do a lot of the talking. There's this bond that you create with an animal that you're in such close contact to. I'll talk to Master like he's any one of my friends. Or probably a bit more truthfully than I do with my friends. Because he's not gonna judge me. I don't know, maybe a little bit. You know, I treat him like I would treat a person. You know, it feels very much, when I look after him, I'm not looking after an animal. You know, I feel like I'm babysitting an old man. Or, you know, I'm looking after a sibling. You know, it's a bit like, you know, talking to a friend beside you or a sibling, and then you turn around and suddenly they're a horse or they're a dog. You're speaking to them like they're another person. They're just, you know, your buddy. And it's only when you really look at them that you see them for what they are. And I think that's where the fascination with the eyes come from. Because, you know, although an eye is an eye, the pupil reminds me that we're almost the same, but we're not. We are completely different, no matter how much we're the same. It's only when I properly look him in the eye and I see that difference that I think, oh, that's right. And I'm reminded we're not the same.
that I can model after you, but it's never the same, and oh, you're to blame, and hope it's something you've discovered too. And we're all so the same, and yet we're apart, different working brains, but the same beating hearts. And I know I can see the world like you do. Let me see you, let me see through you. I'll blink once and you'll blink twice. I'll pay attention, find another eyelid. My judgment is turbid, but no one listens quite like you did. I know you, but do I really? I look at you, looking at me.
I've been looking at animal perception, but I guess more like the living experience. One thing I really like is trail cameras. There's pictures where they're looking up at the camera and making silly faces like you'd make in a stupid selfie. There's pictures where they're interacting with each other, like children playing, or deer that look like they're kissing or hugging. Trail footage of animals encountering other animals. There's a deer that looks really stumped by the existence of a raccoon, which I just find really funny, because what unites all these trail photos is there's something so familiar about what they're experiencing and what they're doing and showing and portraying. And that is just like a living experience. I love the pictures where they're looking at something just like a human would. You know, a deer looks at a strike of lightning in the distance. You know, we have the same senses. We might not have the same brains or experiences or understanding, but the senses are the same. And I think if the senses are the same, the integral part of living is the same. I think a lot of view of nature is, you know, we're apart from nature, but we're not. We are a part of nature. And I know not everyone is at home sitting on a tree as me. But we are not separate from all of this. We're all one big ecosystem that is living together. I think a block for me thinking about all of this is looking at it from a scientific point of view. The modern view of animals is still very mechanical. They do this for this purpose. That is a very modern take to be like, no, that my horse isn't happy to see me. He just knows when I arrive, he'll get food. People's attitudes to animals and how people interact with them, they're too distant. People see them too much as separate things. I was out in Master's field and there was a white stag and we were the only people there. Master wasn't paying attention. And the white stag, I whistled and the white stag put his head up and it looked at me and we just locked eyes. Locking eyes with an animal that you don't understand and that doesn't understand you. But there's this solidarity there. We're both seeing each other. We're both perceiving and being perceived. We're the observed and the observer. At a very young age I learned horse body language, which has only increased over the years. So I'm very fine-tuned to how he's reacting to something. But it's also interesting how if I look at another animal, that knowledge isn't there. It's only because I've taken the time to learn it to a specific animal. Forever unknowable behind all of the worlds it produces, the subject, nature, conceals itself. And yet this whole environment is only a tiny excerpt from nature, tailored to the capacities of the human subject. Animals are really interesting. We are the same, but we're always different. I look into Master's eye and I see his pupil. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot. You're a horse and I'm a human, and we're not quite the same. Imagine if you're talking to your friend and you turn around and you really look at them and suddenly they were a cat and they'd been a cat all along, and there was no hallucination. You just become so comfortable with what you were perceiving as a person to talk to confide in, to find comfort in, that you forgot of what they are. And is that important? I don't know. Because I don't think the realisation is based in the modern view of animals. I think it's something very ancient. We will never be the same, but we also are. So, it's a lot to think about. Let's try to get down there. Hopefully that won't be me.